All right, we're back. I was just checking out borders and making sure I was playing correctly. Let me reset our investigators here. And Agatha is wounded. I wonder if there's something in this box that she needs. She's going to spend her movement to get to this explore token, or this whatever token is. And each investigator must resolve a horror check against the monster within range with the highest horror rating. After all horror checks have been resolved, tap the end phase button. Did I not do that? I thought we moved on to the investigators, no? In the mythos phase, yeah. Just looking on the program, it wasn't letting me interact here. So we moved up 2 spaces. And this box is filled with strange statues. Something is preventing you from investigating it. So we haven't spent an action yet to interact with that, but we're probably going to have to deal with this guy. Let's talk to it. How do I stop this creature? He points to the box. There are things that can help you bind the beast. His old voice sounds tired and sad. You must place the statues carefully, one in each corner of the house. Draw the symbols on them in your blood, and only then can the creature be contained. So the statues have to be placed here and in the kitchen. And then down there. And then where? And then in the ballroom. Okay. Here, I can speed your way. The ghost points faintly, and the shelf slides back from the wall. Place a secret passage here. All right, I've placed that tile. And this, now it will lead you to one of these 2 places. If you go east, you will come out in the yard. And where was the other one? If you go west, you'll come out into the lounge. Hurry, the monstrosity is escaping. Good luck. With a sad look, he fades. All right, so for her last action, we'll search here. You dig through the box and gain 4 copies of the grotesque, unique item. Okay. With Agatha being in a wounded state like this, I don't know how she's going to be able to deal with this placing of the statues so spread out over the map. She can't do anything else right now. So Joe, I think Joe has a doomed mission. It's Joe and his shotgun against a star spawn. I'm sure this is insane. One investigator against something like this. Joe can run around. I wonder if we need to have Joe run towards her and get these statues. Maybe she's saying, come here, come here. I really don't think brute force is going to be the answer to fighting such a horrible beast with a single investigator. I don't know if we can get all of this done in time. Well, let me count the spaces here. I really feel like the smart thing to do is place the statues, but Agatha being wounded really messes us up. Alright, it's probably pretty futile no matter what I try to do. Joe is going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to spend all of his movement to get to Agatha. And I just looked here. This is a dashed yellow line. He can't move into this space. So it has to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And he's got 1 point of movement left. I can't do anything else. So I'm going to have to end my turn there. With a terrible cry, a terrifying beast crashes through the mansion's window. Spawn amigo as indicated. Alright, I couldn't find amigo in the box. So I'm just going to place one of these lizard looking thingies. That's going to be our amigo for now. And isn't this overkill? I mean, I know we're in trouble, but you are weary to the bone and your strength is now ebbing. We flip face down damage face up. Each investigator. Well, this is just insanely punishing, isn't it? Joe Diamond is a minor injury, and Agatha's already wounded, so really nothing more can be done at this point. The star spawn moves 1 space toward the exit. Then, if it is not within a space, it attacks. So again, this confuses me because the other one said it moved the cultist, but then it couldn't attack, and then it ended up moving. Anyway, it's a little confusing. I feel like it needs to be consistent one way or the other. So the star spawn moves 1 space toward the exit. So he moves into the yard just outside of the kitchen. There are no investigators within range. Moves 1 additional space. So I think he moves into the kitchen, which is just funny to me for some reason. The Migo moves up to 2 spaces to be within range of as many investigators as possible. Then it attacks the investigator with the highest strength. 2 spaces. Well, I guess we're going to move him like here and then here, kind of flying towards the cellar. But is this one going to be all weird and have us move again? It cannot move to be within range. All right, so it's doing a move or a move. Okay, so we moved it 2 spaces. Each investigator must resolve. We don't have to worry about them. We're too far away at this point. I don't have a lot of hope for this. Maybe I wasted too much time wandering around. I'm not sure. I'm going to reset my counters for actions, and I guess the first thing I'll do is Agatha. Joe's the one that can move, so I'm going to give Joe the statues. But should I give him all of them or just one of them? Maybe let's give him 3. And Agatha will keep 1. Something like that. So for her first action, she traded. For her second action, she's going to hit that explore token. The boards and chains on the door vibrate with strange magics that keep them safe from tampering. Really? Really? We can't go through there? All right, so it's going to force us. So she's got to move towards the secret door then. I mean, there's really no other choice of action if it's not going to let her move through there. So 2 spaces. She's on the space with the secret door. But she can only move once. So I think that is it for her. Trade and move and 1 action remaining, but nothing else she can do. So let's go to Joe. Joe's got some statues, and Agatha may need to just go up the steps and put 1 here. But Joe's the one who's got to get around and scoot around to the different places on the map. So he's going to move 1, 2. It's going to spin an action to move again through the secret door and come out here. And he's got 1 more movement available here. And then last movement, we'll put him here with 1 movement point left. So I think that's all he can do. I think our investigators are spent for the turn. Let's go back to the program. The corridor in front of you twists and stretches on forever. It is impossibly long. Impossible. Each investigator in the hall or alley. Nobody's there. The star spawn moves 1 space towards the exit. So he moves into the dining room. No investigators within range. And then he moves into the other space in the dining room. Yeah, he's going to get out. The Migo moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator and then attacks. Can he make it to us? Let's go to the map and see. He's right here. 1, 2. Did it say within range? It says then attacks an investigator in its space. So it can't get to us in the same space. So it's not a ranged attack. No investigators in the space. Well, wait a minute. Did it move or not? I'm just going to go ahead and move it 2 spaces. 1, 2. It's right next to us. Each investigator must resolve a horror check. All right, so Joe Diamond needs to do a horror check against Amigo. Why did Amigo come here? I have no idea. The creature shrieks with an intensity that makes your ears ring. Flip 1 horror face up and become dazed. I guess I'm dazed. There's no way to avoid this. I guess not. I guess it's really trying to crush us here at the end of the game. All right, we dropped the dazed card on Joe. This monster movement is just for some reason confusing to me in this game. Are they moving or not? Okay, so Agatha. Agatha is going to... Let me reset their action tokens here. Agatha is going to move up the steps, limping her way into the study. That's her first action. Second action, she's going to interact with the token there and place a statue. This is one of the locations you can interact if you have a statue. Place a statue. You set the small statue in the corner, draw the correct symbols, and suffer 1 face down damage. Yeah, we're drawing in our blood. Discard your grotesque, whatever. All right, so she's done that. She's got 1 action left. She can't move again, so she's going to use her textbook, her medical textbook, for her third action, and she's going to perform surgery on herself here. Nah, she's just going to wrap up her bloody hand. And statue is on the table, so that was the only one that she was carrying. So Joe's got to scoot around everywhere else, but there's no way he's gonna get out in 2 turns. And we got Amigo in our face. So let's go to Joe. First thing Joe will do is drop one of his wrong window. Joe's going to drop one of his statues onto the space here. This is where he is. Place a statue. Take 1 face down horror. So he's got 2 now. And puts a statue down. And does the chant. And now what? Well, let me see if I can pan over here just a little. Statue's on the table. Amigo is in the space adjacent. So, second action. By the way, we are dazed right now. We can't spend clue tokens. That's one of his best things that he can do. Well, I think I could try to... I'm not in a space with this Amigo, so I wonder if I can move. 1, 2, in the space with the secret passage. Move again. We're going to take that secret passage. 2, 2, secret passage. Boom. We come out into the yard. And then we should have 1 more point of movement left. So we're going to go up here. And we're going to try to place one up there in the kitchen. So I think that's it for Joe. We get to, I guess we got to get through the Mythos phase before we can discard Dazed. So let's go ahead and head to the Mythos. A droning chant comes from the door. Spawn a cultist. Alright, we're just going to take his figure here and put him right there. That's what it said. This is just beating us down. Are you sure this is the right place? Another person whispers just behind the first. Another cultist? Alright, so we've put this guy down. This is hopeless now. Without warning, your feet take off under someone else's command. After what seems like hours, you are back where you started. And the exhausting trip ends. For each investigator suffers 2 face-down damage. Strength negates. All right. Joe's got a strength of 4. Let's roll his dice. He can't spend clue tokens, so he's just got a single success. So he takes 1 face-down damage. That takes him to 3 points. He can take up to 8. He's pretty sturdy. But Agatha, her strength is 2. But she got 2 successes. Wow, she is all right. She's hanging in there. Starspawn moves. All right, that puts him into the hallway. No investigators within range. Nope, that's through doors. Moves 1 additional space. So he moves into a space with a cultist. Please kill the cultist. The Migo moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. That would be Agatha now, because we went through the secret door. 1, 2. But no investigator will be there. The cultist moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. Let me count some spaces here. All right, I think they are the same distance away. 1, 2. He's going to move up into the hall. He's hunting Agatha. No investigators there. All right, now, does he move again? No, this is the other cultist. The cultist moves 2 spaces to be adjacent to as many investigators as possible. And then it attacks. So this one, it says cannot move to be adjacent. Then he moves 2 spaces toward the nearest investigator. So 2 spaces, he's just following the other guy down the hall. I bet it's horror check time, isn't it? Well, no horror checks need to be made because of the doors and such. All right. All right, we're starting up the next turn. Joe's going to spend a point of movement. We get rid of this dazed card. Joe's going to spend a point of movement to move 2 spaces to the kitchen, spend another action to interact with the statue location. 1 face down damage. That takes him to 4. And we got to drop a statue. He's carrying 1. He'll drop that into the kitchen. That's done. He's got 1 action remaining. So we just need to get down here, which is going to be impossible to do before this thing gets out the door. So boom, boom. He's running, but that's the best he can do. Agatha. Agatha. 2 cultists, Amigo, and a star spawn. This is insane. Maybe Agatha's going to go down with a fight. She's going to move 2 into the hallway. That's her movement. She's going to attack the cultist with the 38 revolver. So let's go to the program. I mean, really, spells is what she's good at. Maybe we should use a spell. This is cultist number 1. We're going to attack this cultist with a spell. That's what she's good at. You bring the heels of your palms together, draw them a ball of glowing energy. Coalescing into your hands, you speak the words of power. Lore 2. We've got a great chance at this. Her lore is 5. And she has this arcane manuscript, which gives her, I think it's +1. Roll 1 additional die. That's right. And she has a ritual dagger. So we're rolling a bunch of dice here. And we've got 3 successes and 3 potentials in that roll. Let me switch over there so you can see. 3 successes and 3 potential successes. So, the spell we were using, by the way, is Rack. That was our most powerful one. So, what happens here? It says if you pass, your hands at 4 spells damage plus your test results. So 5, 6, 7, 8 damage. Okay, he's gone. I think it did say to, let me make sure I read this. Then move the monster away. Flip the spell you attacked with. Okay. All right, so he's taken out. Let's flip over the spell. It says your enemy's tormented screams sound almost human. You and each other investigator within range suffer 1 face down horror. That takes her to 3. Then discard this spell and gain another rack spell. All right, so that cultist is killed. And then there's one standing in front of him. I wonder if there's any way she can attack this star spawn. He is within range. Let's attempt to do that. We're just gonna shoot the rack spell at the star spawn. She's just trying to slow him down if she can. Spell. A pulsing sphere of darkness forms as your hand as you begin the incantation. Lore 2. Again, she gets to roll a bunch of dice. She is excellent at this. She was born for this. All right, we ended up with 2 successes. She's going to spend 3 clue tokens here to crank up the power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 successes on the spell. If you pass, your words charge the sphere with terrible power, and you loose it at your foe. The monster suffers damage equal to the spell's damage. Oh, is that it? Well, let me keep those clue tokens then. I'll just take those back. All I needed to do was pass. Flip the spell. So let's see what it's going to do. 5. He's got 50. Oh man, this is pointless. He's got 50 hit points. All right, let's flip over the rack spell. You hear laughing and gradually realize it's your own. Suffer 2 horror. Then the monster suffers 2 additional damage. All right, 2 horror. Number 1, minor shock. No additional effect. Number 2, minor shock. Okay, but 2 additional damage. That is not going to matter to the star spawn. And then we need to draw another spell. All right, so we've done all of that. And let's see, she moved spell. So she's spent. Joe's spent. I think that's all we can do. We may lose the game here. Skittering and creeping, 100,000 spiders emerge from their hiding places. Joe Diamond scrambles to avoid the worst of their bites. We need agility with 2 successes to avoid this. His agility is 5. It's good. That's 3 successes there. So I hope that noise isn't too bad for you. If he passes, he receives only trace of their strange venom, but the experience is traumatizing. He suffers 1 face-down horror and becomes dazed. I hate being dazed. It's better than wounded, though, at least for right now. What's next? Star Spawn moves 1 space, so he is right there at the door. Then, if it is not in the same space as the exit, it attacks. The monster is in the same space with the exit. Yes, it is. With a single blow, the creature destroys the splintering door and breaks the binding. The investigation is not complete.
The horror bursts from the house and out into the streets of Arkham. Screams echo through the early morning air. You stumble out in the dim light, but the horror, finally free, moves faster than you can manage to follow. Only death and destruction remains where it passes. An alien presence seems to stand beside you, a heavy aura of disappointment and sorrow seeping into you. The horror's assault on Arkham lasts for days. And try as you might, You cannot help but feel responsible for the city's mounting death toll.
Oh, man. We did our best. Well, that is it. Well, everybody, we didn't get it. We didn't get this guy. We had one statue left with 3 actions. We could have gone 1, 2, and then we could have done it. If we just had one more single turn, we could have done it. But yeah, 50 hit points, that would have taken turns and turns and turns. I wouldn't have been able to bring this guy down. Well, that is it. That's my playthrough. I still don't feel confident exactly how monster movement works, but I'm just going along as best I can with it. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. I will catch you later.